The only thing we have to
Beer.
is
Beer.
itself.
Beer. So many choices.
Oh, we no function beer well without.
Woohoo! Beer! Hello, and welcome to another episode of Beer Busters. We're going to bring you the news and reviews, of course, of some wonderful brews. My name is Dan Baker, joined, as always, by my co-host and brewologist,
Steph Huffner.
and the demented and fermented
Wayne Baker.
I almost called you what I used to call you.
Yeah, you can't do that.
We can't do that.
Nope.
We can't do that anymore.
Trademark.
It's our own thing. It's a trademark. Well, we are we're back.
And better than ever.
And better than ever. New and improved. No, we're back at Canal Street, and it feels good to be
It didn't take long.
I know, right?
No, not at all. We were just
here.
at the end of September, we were here. That episode just came out not too long ago. But we're back because it's the return of Brewphoria. This is Brewphoria 14, and
That's right.
I have been looking forward to this event since Brewphoria 13.
And so has Rich.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah, with the buffet that's
The
come.
buffets,
Yeah,
yep.
They're setting up right now. They brought around the hors d'oeuvres for us. There was like
Delicious
some
as always.
like baklava kind of stuff and
It was
spring
fried
rolls.
free. It was fried free.
I don't
wasn't
know.
baklava.
That's just the word that's going to stick out in my head now because that's what it. Anyway, it
All
was
that
really
matters
good.
is the
So this
eggplant
is
bruschetta.
Brewphoria 14. This is Beer Busters Brewphoria number 3. Yes.
We're only 11 behind.
We were only 11 behind.
Can we do our own Brewphorias to catch up?
Yeah, we could do them tomorrow.
No, they do it perfectly.
That's
They
true.
do.
They do.
Let them do.
Yeah. But I'm very happy to be back here, and I know you guys are as well. There's a lot of cool stuff. We've come out, some old friends. We're going to get some new friends up here as well, and we're going to enjoy the night.
We are.
Speaking of new friends,
New friends.
can I give a shout out to one
Please.
of our listeners?
Yes.
Sure, please do.
So there is a family from Birmingham in the United Kingdom.
Yay!
Lee Beat and the Beat family. They never miss an episode, Lee says.
We are international.
So that's pretty freaking awesome.
So when we do Beer Busters England, they can actually come on the show.
We'll send them the first invite.
But it'd be Beer Busters Britain.
Yeah, sticking with, yeah.
It alliterates.
Yeah.
BBB.
BBB.
Instead
Not
of
to be-
BBC.
Okay, yeah.
BBB1, BBB2.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh,
Does that
my
work?
goodness.
We can do that many episodes
No.
in the UK.
But
Sorry,
yeah,
Lee.
if-
Please keep listening.
Yeah, and if you want to send us some beer from across the pond, we'd be happy to sample some of British's. Wow, we haven't had any beer. I had some iced tea and some hors d'oeuvres, but some of Britain's finest brews. We would be more than happy. I don't know what the logistics of shipping beer overseas is.
Probably
but
not easy or cheap.
We're open to it.
Yeah, if it's possible, and none of us will get legally in trouble. We also wanted to mention, too, of course, this is all possible with the love and support from Audible, audibletrial.com/beerbusters. You can sign up for your free 30-day trial of an Audible account where you get to peruse the collection, download, and keep an audiobook of your choosing. There's over 250,000 titles. Pretty much anything that comes out now comes out in audiobook form. So while you are going about your busy day-to-day life, you can have somebody mellifluously read the words to you, thanks to audibletrial.com/beerbusters.
Yes, and you know what else you can do on the internet?
What can we
Ken?
do on the internet besides porn?
Not much, but you can also go to patreon.com/beerbusters and sign up to become a Beer Busters patron. You can donate a few bucks to us each time we release a podcast episode, or as little as $1 a month. So you can help us keep this train running, and you can get some cool behind-the-scenes perks. You'll get to see... We'll give you some photos from...
There's some good ones from tonight.
Behind the curtain. There's some good ones from tonight. You'll get to hear our podcast outtakes. We're going to keep... The more people we get on that Patreon bandwagon, the more cool stuff we'll be giving you. So go to patreon.com/beerbusters to learn more and, think about signing up to support the show or just keep listening. And if you're listening, another thing you can do, which I don't think we ask people to do often enough,
I know what you're going to say.
is give us a rate and a review on iTunes. That really helps us kind of bump ourselves up in the charts.
Yeah, I was
so
thinking
it
that
becomes a little more visible
on the ride up here. Yeah, it's every little bit's gonna count. And we at one point we're on the new and noteworthy in iTunes for the food and beverage category, and I'm sure we have fallen along the wayside from that. So any love you can give us, we would certainly appreciate.
Because we're no longer new, but we continue to be noteworthy.
That is absolutely right. And I know we wanted to mention too that since we're at Canal Street and they've been so kind to us, they do have supposedly a kick-ass New Year's Eve celebration coming up. They do it every year. I've not been to it.
Well, this will be the second year. Last year was the first.
Okay. Well, this is the return of the New Year's Eve celebration.
Yes.
Were you at the one last year?
I
Steph?
was. It was
so
amazing.
it was super cool, right?
Yeah.
You said it was only what, $55?
$55 a person. It includes all food. They do a buffet early on, then they do like finger foods, hors d'oeuvres later. There are all you can drink, beers, cocktails, all kinds of stuff. And then Dusty always has something pretty kick-ass for midnight. Last year we had some New Glarus beers at midnight. So,
Nice.
yeah, it was a good time. And they don't oversell it, kind of like Brewphoria here. You know, it's comfortable. There's a lot of people, and it's fun, but you're not cramped in. You have space, and we had a great time. We're number 1 and 2 on the list for this year.
That's awesome.
Nice. Yeah, so there's still time, guys. If you're in the area, or if you'll be traveling to the area, or if you just want to drive across the country to do something cool on or sail across the Atlantic Ocean,
There you go.
Come to Canal Street for New Year's Eve.
Of course. Well, definitely look out for that. And there's a lot of good stuff that's coming up for tonight, and I think we should get to it. So here we are, Brewphoria 14. Enjoy. Well, we have as our first guests for today some old friends who I can't imagine a better way to start off the show, because as much as I like to talk about beer and teach people about the limited knowledge of beer I have, the guys that are here have opened my mind to other kinds of alcohol, and I learned about that because when we were at Hijinks, we also had Colony Meadery and County Seat, yes. So that whole night was a fun-filled, educational, alcoholic night. But of course, we have Chris and Kurt with us from Hijinks, straight down from Allentown.
And
Gentlemen,
we
how are
ended the night with
Thanks for having
vegetables. Do you remember that?
How you doing?
No?
Pretty good.
Yeah, they gave us vegetables to take home.
Yeah.
After all that drinking, that's what I remember.
I tend to block out vegetables from my mind.
I think I had to Swiss chard maybe, and see, Chris
Stuff from the
remembers. Yeah,
Okay. Well, I'm glad
it was just an all-around great day.
I'm glad you guys remember that.
Dan has vegetable blindness.
Yeah, exactly. It's like face blindness.
That is
Can't
true.
see vegetables.
This is
But
very
yes,
true.
gentlemen, thank you for returning to the podcast with us, and we're very glad to have you guys
It's
on.
Chris and Kurt,
Thanks
by the
for
way. I
having
don't
us.
know
I
if
said-
we
He said
say
Chris
their
and
names.
Kurt,
Do
yeah.
we? Okay,
I did,
I was
yeah.
too focused on vegetables.
As the vegetarian at the table, I expect no less.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
But how's things up in Allentown? How's Hijinks doing? How are you guys doing?
Things are good. We just actually yesterday celebrated our 5th birthday.
Oh, well, happy
congratulations.
Crap,
birthday,
5
happy
years.
anniversary.
Yeah.
Time flies.
It really
know, right?
does.
Yeah,
Well-
we're excited about that.
Yeah, and you guys, you're so I know we had when we were at the 100th episode, you brought us some cans of Barista's Choice. You still canning that?
Yes.
Are there other ones? I think I remember there were 2 initially that you were canning, right?
We can the Hop Havoc, the
Okay.
Wicked White, the,
That's
the Citra Squeeze, and the Barista's Choice. And we have a couple coming in the spring that we're gonna be canning.
that
So
Wicked White. Oh my god, such a good beer.
That is
There's
good.
not a bad
That's
beer
good.
in the bunch, but I also remember you guys have a pretty impressive barrel aging program that you were kind enough to shed some light on and share some beers from. Is that still going strong?
yeah, we have
Oh, yeah.
some cool stuff coming out.
Awesome.
Yeah, we're going to actually be trying
I
one
know.
of those things
Yeah.
with you guys today.
I didn't want to steal too much of that thunder, but I can't wait
Yeah,
to try that.
yeah,
Is
I'm
that the one
excited
that's
for
like the
that.
totally full glass?
Yeah.
As well it should be. As well it should be. Of
course it is.
Well,
course.
we should for anybody who can't see, it's a tasting glass that is full, so it's not that much, but it's going to be mighty
It's not
powerful.
a pint, but
Yeah.
It's
a
early,
good
boys.
amount. It is.
I'm pretty sure people will bring you beer.
Oh, yeah.
well,
that's,
yeah.
that's not a problem.
That's not a problem.
We always have
Never a
Rich for
problem.
that.
Pretty sure you'll get to try everything in the room.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Speaking of trying,
Maybe more
Yeah.
than once.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not waiting anymore.
Uh-oh,
All
Steph's
right.
not waiting. We're diving right in.
So we're starting with the Citra Squeeze, which is a great standby IPA for you guys. I imagine this has got to be one of your most popular beers.
It
For
is.
sure.
Yeah, it's definitely our best seller right now.
One of the ones available in a can.
Correct.
Perfect beer for a can. Oh, it's so good. Every time I have this, it's got that great citrusy, hoppy, perfect first beer of the beer fest. I have to pass it to Dan,
you
but
do.
I don't want to.
Yeah, I was going to say, it must be nice to be drinking that beer.
I was waiting for when you were going to give it out.
So have the cans been popular for you guys? Have been
Absolutely.
selling really
Definitely.
well? Yeah, does it help
Definitely
sort of-
helping get the name out, get awareness out. That then drives draft as well. So
Nice.
So how far is the distribution at this point for the cans?
We still have distribution Philadelphia to Scranton, pretty much all of Eastern PA.
Where are you in Philly? I don't think I've seen any of your stuff in Philly.
I really don't know off the top of my head. I can't.
It's a big
Tell you,
city. It's
yeah.
somewhere.
Check your Acme.
Where
I haven't been to that Acme in a while because people have been giving me beer.
I know some of the grocery stores down there are carrying it.
All right, which means probably Acme because I think that's one of the only ones in the city that sells beer.
Oh, in the city, yeah, I really don't.
No, the Whole Foods.
yeah, Whole
Whole
In-
Foods
in the
is-
city?
The Whole Foods is in the city too.
Yeah,
Foods
there's one
is-
on South
Oh,
Street, right?
South
Yeah.
Street, the new one up by the prison.
yeah,
we were just
Callow
in.
Hill.
Oh, that one. The other one we were just in was in Wynwood, which isn't technically the city, but yeah, they all sell beer.
Oh, last time I was in one, they didn't. Cool. I'm glad.
And
they
if you
did.
don't
That's
see it
awesome.
there, ask for it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's always a
that's-
good thing,
yeah.
yes.
Very
that's
cool.
right. And if you don't see hijinks there, ask for it.
Well, of course,
Correct.
of course.
Yes.
And I always have to remember whenever I think of you guys, the slogan you have is what, tomfoolery in every pint. Is that what it is? I love that.
Also tomfoolery in every can.
Yeah,
in every can now. Yeah.
I jumped ahead.
That's
to
actually
Baristas
printed on the
Choice.
bottom of almost all the cans.
Tomfoolery in
cool.
every can.
Very cool.
Nice. Not what was it? Brady sucks or whatever.
Oh, that's right. We talked about that story while we were there.
Some sports thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I did want to
Sports
make
thing.
it tomfoolery in the can, but
Tomfoolery in the can.
I was outvoted.
You're outvoted on that. Aren't you like
sure
in
how.
charge? Can't you just veto and be like, no?
I'm
that's
not sure how I got outvoted.
That's what we're doing. Like I get to say what we're doing.
I would have voted in your honor. That would have been cool. But I know the other one Steph is already sipping and Wayne's up to it now is of course Barista's
Freaking love that
Choice.
beer.
Which we didn't have it when we were there. And it was until
And I was upset about that, but then they gave me vegetables, so it was okay.
vegetables fix all for you, don't
That's
they?
right.
But we had it at the 100th episode. You brought the 6-pack of it, which was really cool. I think that might have been the first time I had the beer.
Oh, really?
Which,
That was the first time you had it?
I think so. I
Oh,
could
wow.
be wrong.
It's such a good beer.
It's still my favorite beer you make.
It's
I
up
love
there.
it.
I don't know if I could
absolutely
pick
love
a favorite.
I remember the very first time I ever had that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
vividly remember being at the tap room and the first time I had that, and I was like, "This is freaking awesome."
That's
It
cool.
is
And
an
I still love
excellent,
it.
an excellent coffee beer. It's been a while since we talked about it on the podcast, so if you'll remind our listeners and me what what coffee is actually in here.
So this is an English brown porter. It's a very light drinking porter. And it's an organic Honduran coffee that's custom roasted for us by a local coffee shop, Taylor Roasted Coffee House, local to us. And he custom roasted for us. So it's very smooth coffee, notes of chocolate, just very easy drinking coffee by itself.
Mm-hmm.
So it made sense to put it in the beer.
Brings a tear to the eye.
Absolutely. It's delicious. It's one of my favorite coffee beers, and I love coffee beers.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, it's really awesome. Is this, I imagine, you also can this one. This is one of your most popular beers as well.
Right now, this is taken off.
Yeah.
And it's,
Good.
Yeah, we just started canning it about 3 months ago, maybe 2 or 3 months
two,
ago.
two months ago.
And yeah, it's definitely getting up there with the Citra as far as sales out of our tap room, at least.
Right. Perfect beer for this time of year. It's starting to get a little
Yeah.
cold out.
I'm gonna
nice,
finish this.
comforting.
Sorry, guys.
Go ahead.
That's
Go
all
ahead.
right.
It's okay.
It's early.
It's okay.
You need to start early.
Oh, it's so goddamn good.
It's so comforting
It's really
too.
good.
I think it almost like reminds you of a good like chocolatey hot chocolate when it's cold out.
Chocolatey hot chocolate.
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, it's not very high in alcohol. The breeze.
It's only 5%.
It's only 5. That's
Wow.
right. Yeah. And it tastes like it would be the kind of beer that would sneak up and be like, no, this is actually like 8. Like, really? But no, it is actually like
Easy
5.
drinker.
Easy drinker.
Is this one that's in any of the barrels that you guys have? Are you doing anything with that?
No, we didn't put any of this in the barrel yet.
Yeah,
Not
not
to
yet.
say
Is
that
it
Chris
yet? All right,
won't
good.
yeah.
sneak some in the barrel when no one's looking.
Yeah. That is ripe for a barrel. That would
Wow.
be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of barrels.
Speaking of
so
barrels.
this is the one. So this one, it's aged in Woodford Reserve barrels, which I love. When I went to Vegas recently, and on the plane, I got a little bottle of Woodford Reserve to put in a Coke. That was the best way to start my vacation. I think it's my favorite whiskey.
Oh my God. Woo. It definitely has a bourbon character.
Does it really? Yes.
It just came out of the
I
barrel.
was going to say this must have just come
It
out
just
of the barrel. Wow.
came out of the barrel.
Yeah, I just packaged that last week. So
Oh, man.
it's fresh out of the barrel.
What is this one clocking in at for ABV?
10%.
Yeah,
Oh
just
my
over, just
God.
over
Yeah,
10.
just over 10.
Oh my God! Even the
Although-
in the nose. Oh.
It tastes like it would be like 80 proof. To be fair, so
Holy
10%.
shit.
It's good. It's really
It's
good.
super good.
It might have stayed in the barrel a little long, but
There's no such
You
thing.
said, but I think before we officially started this segment, I think you said a year and a half. Was it?
Yes,
about?
year
Yep.
and a half.
Yeah.
Year and a half in the barrel.
Did we actually say on air what beer this is? In
It's,
the Woodford
Steal
Reserve?
Your Face.
Yeah, because I know I just kind of went crazy over the Woodford Reserve part. But it's, oh my God, there's like an extra sweetness to it. Oh, it's so good. Why is
That's
it
really good.
10%?
Yeah, I know, right?
yeah, you might not want to finish that
No.
one.
Yeah, we got to
No.
grease the wheels
Oh my
here for the podcast. We'll let this warm up a little bit and become a little more complex.
that's
before we
true.
go back
It'll be
to
interesting
it.
to see how it changes as it warms.
Yeah, definitely.
So good.
It's really good.
Oh,
It's really smooth, especially being so fresh out of the barrel.
I'm sorry,
being
it's really
so
what?
Smooth.
Okay.
So bourbon forward, I normally find that barrel aged beers for me, I like them to be out of the barrel for a while.
Yeah, me
before
too.
drink
I
them.
think this is a little over the top. It's going to get more mellow,
Yeah.
but we thought it would be neat to bring something fresh out of the barrel and see what people thought. So.
Yeah. Well, it must be, and I've never had Woodford whiskey itself. but it must be a very smooth.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, you should fix
Yeah,
that.
it's really good.
yeah. Because I mean, as pronounced as the alcohol is, it's not super bitey and hot. It drinks
Yeah,
pretty
and that's the
nicely.
thing too. I would imagine if you choose the wrong whiskey, the wrong bourbon, whatever you're going to age it with, it's gonna fight back. But this blends so well. It's a good choice.
So I think given some time, that's going to be a top-notch
God.
barrel-aged beer.
So what you're saying is I have to go back to Allentown.
Yeah, you have to come visit.
All right.
We also are going to be bottling a Heaven Hill barrel-aged version of this.
Oh, nice.
That's
nice.
going to be bottled next week, so
That'll
be
be
on sale.
released Black Friday.
Ah,
okay, cool.
I'm liking the trend of Black Friday releases.
Yeah, or like the Wednesday before.
Yeah,
a lot
so
of breweries
it's
are
right
doing
there.
that.
Yeah, 'cause that's like the kickoff of. To me, it's the kickoff of winter and the kickoff of like the holiday season.
And
That's
you
cool.
need a lot of alcohol to get
You
through
do.
that.
Yes. That makes perfect
Especially when I have to visit with family.
Yes.
Well stated.
Watch it.
So, what other exciting things do you guys have in barrels right now? Since we're on the subject of barrels,
Dallas-Strecken, which is our Belgian dark strong ale. We have a wee heavy aging in some local distillery barrels. What else do we have? I think that's about it right
Barley
now.
wine?
Oh yeah, 6s and 7s are barley wine. We have that in some Angel's Envy barrels, some Four Roses barrels, and some locally distilled distillery barrels. So
Nice.
And we'll be adding some more to it as things go along here. When we think we have some other barrels sitting around. So cool.
Apparently, we have to put baristas in a barrel.
you
do
do.
it. Sounds
do
like
it.
it.
Do it. Do it. Do it.
I
do it.
definitely
I
think
support
that would
that.
be great.
We
I think
might
it'd
have
be
to
good
do an imperial version, though.
Yeah, bump up the
like a
alcohol.
rum barrel. Actually, I think
Oh, that
would be
sounds
good.
great.
Yeah,
I was just going to ask what you would use, but I
Irish
think rum
whiskey?
could work out pretty well. Yeah.
or an Irish whiskey could work.
Like
yeah.
Irish-
Like an
what do you
Irish
put in
breakfast.
like that Irish coffee stuff? What
You know what
booze-
you can-
Irish whiskey.
Is it-
yeah.
it's Irish-
or a
yeah.
Bailey's barrel.
Yeah.
Wait,
I was thinking of that.
We actually took a pin to a beer fest and we called it McPrankster's Porter. Because the base beer of Barista's Choice is Prankster's Porter.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, we actually made basically an Irish coffee version.
Nice.
So
nice.
cool. Well, I'm glad to see that you guys are doing well. Happy 5th anniversary to you guys.
Appreciate
Thank you.
that.
And
5 years, man. That's
yeah,
awesome.
that's incredible.
Thank you.
And I look forward to the next 5 and then the next 5 after that, and plenty of beers that you guys are going to get me drunk on, whether you know it or not.
Yeah.
All
Come
that
on
I-
up again.
All that
That was
I
a
ask
fun
is
day.
that
Yeah, it
you
was. It
you
was-
definitely get into my Acme, so that way it's easier for me to buy your beer. Because Allentown, as much as I love it, is kind of far.
Agreed.
But guys, thanks for coming up here. Thanks for being the kickoff to the show for us, and I'm sure I will come back for some more Barista's Choice.
Awesome.
At some
Thanks,
point.
guys.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I appreciate
Thanks,
you having
guys.
us.
Have a good
Thanks,
show.
guys. Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers.
So we are lucky enough to have at the table joining us now someone who we recently, well, no, I guess we met you here last year,
Yeah,
right?
that was the first time. Yeah, it's
all
been a
right,
year.
all right, cool. So we were at your official place of business within the past few months. But, of course, we have from Hidden River, we've got Kevin with us. How are you, sir?
I'm well. How is everyone here?
Oh,
Kevin
fantastic.
Very good.
Kevin M, yes.
Kevin M.
Kevin M. We've
Yes.
just been told M. No, but I'm glad that you guys are here again, and I'm glad that you are able to sit down at the table with us before all the madness and all hell breaks loose. But it's cool. It's always cool to see you. You guys are a lot of fun. You're putting out a lot of good beers, and you're just great dudes all around.
Thank you.
and building quite the reputation.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we've been
For
hearing a
Eastern
lot
PA
of good
beer.
things about you guys in our travels.
I want to know every one of their names.
Well, we were just at Round Guys last night. And you guys came
I saw
up.
that.
And they brought you guys your name up.
A couple
Hidden
fests
River.
we've been to recently, people have been talking about you guys. I just keep hearing Hidden River. Hidden River. I'm like, I know
Well,
that. I
at,
know
at the
that.
Pottstown Brew Fest, your table was a must-hit table for a
that's
lot of people
excellent
coming
to
up
know.
and talking
yeah,
to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt bad. Like I had to be in the city that afternoon. I got there and like I'm seeing everybody I know, kind of some people I don't know, and I'm like, I gotta leave. This stinks. That's what happens sometimes I go to fests, and I've been trying not to do that. And when we've been trying to do as many as we can this year, we're new. People have still never heard of us, which is fine. Even like when I say never, it's like sometimes down the road, which is still kind of
Yeah.
common, you know. And that's cool. And I don't know. It's kind of fun to just get out in front of people and I don't know, smile at them. It's cool.
Yeah, put a face to the beer.
It is.
Yeah.
So
it's-
when we met you here last year for the first time, I'm assuming that was the first time you guys were at Brewphoria.
yeah.
Was that one of the first kind of fests that you did? I don't remember exactly when you guys opened.
Yeah, we opened last July.
Okay.
And that was that was like the second, I believe.
Okay.
We did the
Okay.
Pottstown Fest because that was
Okay.
right around, that was October, and then we did this one, and then that was like cool. It was eye opening for me. It was like,
Yeah.
it was nice to see how it actually works on the other side, and
Right.
and then we slowly did a couple more, but yeah, that was our first couple, so it was really fun to come out and just
Cool.
I don't know, just see how the flow of everything works,
Right,
and get to
right.
know people. You know,
Yeah.
that's the best part about it.
Awesome. Yeah, and you guys, I mean, nothing but positive things in the time since. So,
There's got to be some haters.
yeah.
If-
well, I haven't met any.
I don't want to meet any, because that's the thing.
You're going to get one or two
I
somewhere.
hope everybody's cool, and that's the thing. It's like I always thought the industry would have been awesome to get into when I was younger, and then being in it, it's like found nothing but awesome vibes going around, and that's all I hope it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
In fact, I was just saying the same thing. I don't think we've met really anybody who has been less than awesome.
We try to put that out there. And you come to the pub, we try to give you, awesome service. Doug is back behind the bar, and he likes to talk to everybody, shake everybody's hands. And that is awesome, because it's like, it's nice to go into business, and then the first couple of years have everybody get to know somebody there, and that's what's cool about it.
Now, if I remember right, when we were there a couple of months ago, you guys had not repeated a single beer that was on tap, right?
Yeah, we didn't at that point, yeah.
But have you now, I'm guessing?
Yeah, a little bit. One was an IPA, and that was straight up because we're looking at what we made, and it was like so similar, except there was a couple of tweaks, which it would have happened anyways on that beer. It was an IPA, and brewing it the first time, then going back and doing it the second time, we would have made those tweaks anyway. So we did go after the same name, and that was fine. Why call something just something different if it's almost the same?
Right.
And then the other one was our pumpkin beer this year. It was called Harry Scary 2015 last year. It's 2016 this year.
Nice.
Almost the same exact thing again. Went at the same exact style and everything pretty much. So
cool.
Yeah, but that's it. And we're gonna try to get there. We're gonna do it. It's slightly hard, I gotta admit, when we want to make something that we can't make again right away. And that's it's not due to our size, it's not due to anything, it's just due to, like, I don't know, some people say do this one again, and it's like, now you don't want to sometimes. You're
right,
like,
No.
Or because you want to do it better every time. Kind of want to, like, and I don't know, we're a brew pub, and we're not getting this beer out ever.
Right.
So when it's so quick of a turnaround, it's kind of cool to just, I don't know, give somebody something new every time. Like when you go out to a bar a lot of times, what's different, what's new. Mm-hmm. People can look at that and say, we can't repeat, we don't have any control over it. I don't know. That's the only thing. I don't want to say that's true. I would be glad to make another beer. It's just, I don't know. When we look at it, I get excited about using new hops. I get excited about using new ingredients. I get excited about seasonality of certain things. When it be what adjuncts we might put into those beers. So,
well, and I think the type of place that Hidden River is, and the type of beers that you guys make, I think fits with that. Like, if there's some breweries, I think if I went in and they never made the same beer twice, I'd kind of be like, all right, well, what, like, why? Like, that doesn't make sense. Yeah. But you guys have that sort of like homegrown, experimental, whatever's available, just throwing stuff together, very rustic. I think we say the word rustic every time we talk about Hidden River. It's like,
because it is.
Yeah. But I think that fits with that whole, like, the beer's always different. You know, it's like, because it's almost like a harvest kind of thing. You never know what you're going to get. You go in and it's just whatever you guys felt like making, or whatever ingredients you guys happen to get your hands on.
Yeah, and it's like, we don't like blindly walk into like a brew day and say, what are we going to make today? I think there's been times where we've done that.
Have you ever started brewing a beer without knowing what it was going to be when you were finished?
We started brewing maybe it was like a couple months ago, and we had a specific IPA in mind, a specific hops, and let alone our hop delivery came that day. And it's like, okay, we're just changing this right now because we wanted to use them. And it was like, okay, well, that can go out the window. It's hops, it's an IPA.
Right.
Those ones, the ones that were coming in were for something specific anyway, so it didn't really matter,
Right.
Are you going to let us drink this stuff or what?
I hope you do.
Yeah, I was going to say,
it's looking pretty exciting over there.
How do I pass?
Well, which one do you want us to drink first?
Pass it around and we'll just take a sip.
That's Fresh Press.
All right, so we're starting. This is Fresh Press. Fresh. Wait, did you do that on purpose?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
This is a hoppy saison.
It's a hoppy saison.
Nice. Nice. Steph's reluctant to pass it. It must be good. And
I like saisons that are just very classic, very peppery, dry.
We don't
not
have to
too
pass it.
bubblegummy, not too fruity. That's just the way I like to drink them.
Oh wow!
This one is a little bit unlike that style because we went at it very hoppy. We brewed it just like any of our IPAs we do, and
that is really good.
I love the way it looks.
I was going to say, one of the comments I was going to make, both the beers that you brought to the table today are very
They're
cloudy.
pretty opaque, and they're not stouts.
Oh, yeah.
Very rustic.
They're very rustic, yeah.
This is amazing.
What's awesome about the fresh press is it's got like that peppery saison,
those things are there
character, but it's got like a very fresh, almost grassy hop character, which is really nice.
It is.
Just
I think,
wait
too.
till you drink this one.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's we went at that at a hopping rate that's it's these days it's all different a little bit. It's like you're hopping so late, but we're still dry hopping heavily on it, and I don't know. It was kind of exactly what we intended. We hope it was going to come out like, because I think sometimes you start throwing like fruity hops into a saison with that Belgian yeast, and it really starts to take. It's like if you do it with Brett, for primary fermentation, it starts taking it in a different direction and a cool direction, in my opinion. And yeah, I like that beer a lot.
This Northeast IPA is pretty hilarious.
Yeah, so this is
so
a sharpening
juicy fruitish
affect. It has
a sharpening.
I like keep smelling it because there's something in the aroma that's like inexplicably comforting, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's reminding me of something or it's just.
It reminds me of juicy fruit gum. That's what it reminds me of.
No, there's something. It's something more herbal and less fruity. I don't know.
Maybe your brother will know.
I haven't even drank it.
Once I finally get my hands on the beer, I can chime in.
You're making us fight over the beer.
Thanks, Wayne.
Oh, that's very nice.
I was like, because that's the thing. I love hearing what people have to say about it because I rarely get to do it, and I just sit there and drink them all day, and it's kind of fun. But at the same time, it's like I can read reviews and things, but I never really get to see people's faces, and it's like I really want to I don't know.
Or the weird sounds we make.
Yeah, the weird sound. That's the best part of it.
There is like a fruitiness to the back of it.
Yeah, it definitely. It's got. Sorry,
I wouldn't say like whatever gum you said.
Juicy fruit.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that.
That's what it reminded me of.
I don't know either.
It's kind of citrusy. Like it almost has like an orange juice kind of feel to it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like kind of the approach we went at it. It's very orange, a little bit of lemon, but then at the same time there is that spiciness. It's hopped with caliente also, which at a nice enough rate there, I think it pulls out some really cool like peppery flavors even.
They're both really tasty.
Something in the aroma. I don't know if you have any thoughts, Dan, now that you finally got to try the beer. But there's just something about it. I don't know what it is. It has like this character I can't put my finger on, but it's like a very pleasant, comforting. I think it's reminding me of something.
At breakfast, maybe even because that's why I look at it. I smell it's like when I open orange juice in the morning. It's like there's a nice waft of morning, which some people is coffee, but the first thing I always have is orange juice, and it's comforting me. It's like my day's starting.
Right.
I get an earthiness out of the aroma with this, and I don't know that I get like the orange juice in the morning kind of deal.
Okay.
But there's something. Some repressed memory I'm trying to bring back.
Oh, no.
I repress only the good ones.
Okay.
Don't worry.
That explains a lot.
That's the quote you should use for this. I repress only the good ones.
Not farts on the beach?
You can.
Not farts on the beach.
You can use that as a beer name.
Yeah, that's actually a really good one. So yeah, it's in the bank. It's in the bank. I like to just walk around here, what people saying. Like I write it down sometimes.
There you go.
Well, speaking of which, are there any stories behind these two names?
No, I mean Fresh Press. That was kind of something we were going to play, almost like this pineapple-y type flavor, and almost even like I don't know, like pina colada, like this something that is like
getting caught in the rain.
Very raw, very like first thing like you start shredding that, it's like the essence of it in the beginning, and I kind of like that thought of it. And a sharpening effect, it's affect. Affect. It's been funny to like write it down and then like say it over and over and over. Everybody has like some sharp tendencies to. I don't know. I don't have to get too far into it. It's it's just like that. It's when you're on edge, and it's like it's this feeling that kind of overtakes you.
Okay. Cool.
And so that's what a good IPA can do.
Yeah. What's on the horizon for Hidden River?
Cool. On the day before Thanksgiving, that Wednesday, we have Frog Holler playing, which is kind of cool and big for us.
All right.
It's a nice big show. We're not usually open on Wednesday, so we're going to open that Wednesday, have that show, and kind of have a standard night, hopefully. And then
it's a big drinking night.
It's a big drinking night. And that's why and that's the cool thing about us. We still close at 10, So it's even if it goes on, it doesn't have to go on there, So it's like we get to keep it under control on our own roof, and I kind of like that. And then I don't know, as the year goes on, I don't know. Planning for next year has been the most fun part because new equipment we get to start pulling in, start to really hone in on if we're going to start expanding or not. We're just trying to figure that out, like exactly right now where and when, but it's definitely going to happen. I'm going to say a good portion that'll happen next year. Right now, other brewer Josh is in Japan for 3 months.
Oh wow,
3 months.
3 months I lost him for.
Wow.
Yes.
Why? What's he doing over there?
He told me this. This is it was he started coming in February. And like I said, he was coming in, he just wanted to help out. He had time off for a little while. He just wanted to kind of learn a little bit. And then, he was an awesome worker, knew a lot about beer. I loved what he had to offer. And like as soon as we hired him, he was like, I gotta tell you, I gotta go to Japan for 3 months at the end of the year. I'm like, oh, that's no big deal. That's fine. Just come work.
Now that he's gone.
And now that he's gone, it's only been a week so far. And like,
oh my gosh,
it's only been a week. So handling the reins, it's funny to get back into doing some things by yourself. So it's kind of weird. But I got a new assistant working with us for a couple months, which helps for her because she's a farmer, so it's seasonal. So for her, she gets to kind of come in. When Josh comes back, her farming season starts again. So works out. But yeah, he went to Japan with his girlfriend. She has a gig out there for 3 months. She did her medical board, so they're kind of placing her other places. So she was in South Carolina for a couple months. Now she's in Japan for a couple months.
Wow.
So it's a pretty big difference.
Yeah, timing is a little bit different. He already texted me. He's like, it's 1 a.m. I'm going to eat dinner.
Crazy.
Wow.
Well, I'm glad to see you guys are doing pretty well. And I'm sorry you had to repeat some beers. I know you guys were holding on to that.
There's a lot we want. I think this year there'll probably be at least a dozen or so, if not more, we're going to do again.
All right, cool.
I look forward to it. So.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, it's awesome. I'm glad to see you guys are here again, and it's happy friend-iversary, I guess.
Happy friend-iversary.
Oh, that's true.
Yes. This is a warming feeling.
Don't
repress these things.
No, if you want more of a warming feeling, we still have the Steal Your Face bourbon barrel aged stout here from Hijinks.
It is phenomenal. You should try it.
I can try it
right out of the barrel. Give it a try, dude.
10%.
It's like bourbon. It'll give you a warming feeling.
I want this friend-iversary. I want the friend germs to come in.
It's 10%. There's no germs. They're good.
Exactly.
That's
The germs die.
They left. They're on the edge of the glass, and they're like, don't worry about me.
I'm waiting to see your face.
Beautiful, warming.
Yep.
It's my style of beer.
Perfect.
Yeah,
this is why we get along so well.
Thank you for helping.
It's everything
us with
Imperial
that.
Stout should be.
Of course.
Yeah. Especially bourbon barrel aged.
Yeah. Well, Kevin, thank you for coming up to the table, man.
Everyone here, thank you. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Great seeing you, man.
Thank you.
Best of luck out there.
I'm going to have a little bit of fun today.
Yes, I hope so.
Awesome.
I hope so.
Awesome.
Cool. Well, thanks again, man.
Cheers, guys.
All right,
to you.
cheers. Thank you.
Joining us at the table now, an old and dear friend of the show from a brewery that is very near and dear to all of our hearts and my liver. We have, from St. Boniface, of course, it couldn't be anybody else other than Dane. Dane, how are you?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Fantastic, man.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming up to the table.
Awesome.
We can't be at Canal Street without Dane being here.
I know. It's a trend.
Yeah.
I just got to say, one of the reasons I love this event so much is, in the entire time we've been here so far, this is the first beer fest in a while where we didn't have to ask anybody their names. Like everybody's been on, we know.
That's true. Well, I think coming up we are going to have some people we haven't met before.
We are going to have some new people on, but there's so many people here that have been on the show before that we've become friends with.
And that's what's great about this event. Not only is it not oversold, it's a nice crowd, and the breweries that are here are personally invited back, which means that you guys have been here before and you have a good relationship, and it means you're good people, which is awesome.
Oh, I'm always impressed with whatever they do here at Canal Street. Dusty's been a huge supporter of our brewery since the beginning, and I'm always excited when we come up here for an event because it's a good time. Really is a good time.
Yeah, lots of cool stuff going on up here. Well, what's going on? What's new with St. Boniface? What's going on out there?
Pizza.
Wow, yeah.
Pizza.
So we actually just started a food service just a couple weeks ago.
Yay!
So that brick oven that had been sitting there in the corner for a couple months finally is up and running, and we've had a great response already in the first couple weeks, and we're excited to see where it goes for us. We were lucky enough to get a chef on board who's pretty well trained and had some experience in New York City, and came and he's already we kind of started things without him, and he came in right as we were getting things up, and he's already kind of tinkering with things and putting new menu items and specials and stuff like that. So we're pretty excited to see where it goes.
Awesome.
Cool. The important question is, though, do you still have the popcorn?
Yes. Okay. Despite our bartenders hating it.
Wow. I can only imagine.
You should hear the servers here. They really hate it here. The popcorn. There's certain rooms Rich is not allowed to have popcorn in when we're here.
Really? Where he should have like a bib or something that catches it.
That it
all,
automatically
like
catches
that.
it. That's hilarious. But beyond the pizza, you guys are also canning some new stuff right now.
Yeah, so John's been tinkering around doing some new beers. We had a Galaxy IPA that was really well received in the last couple months, and then we did a Mosaic IPA, and we brewed enough that we are going to do a small can run of that. So we're pretty excited to see how that goes. We're doing it in some 16-ounce pounders. No, not printed cans. The label, stickers.
I was going to say, where do you have the room for these cans?
Yeah, we don't. So that's why we went to the 16-ounce and the stickers. And we're hoping that in the next couple months, maybe we'll do a small run of a Hegemony, our stout, as well.
Ooh.
So we'll see.
Wait, in pounder cans?
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, boy.
That beer's so dangerous.
Yeah, I know. But so we just wanted to kind of mix it up a little bit with some of that stuff.
Of course.
And it's been pretty well received. I'm pretty excited. Mosaic came out great. The beer is fantastic, and I'm excited to see it in cans.
Good.
So
That's cool.
pretty awesome,
I'm excited to see that for you guys as well. How far do you guys distribute with that?
the Mosaic, realistically, it's not going to be too far because we're canning half of the batch.
Right.
We're going to get some in Lancaster, some in Berks, some in all our distribution footprint, but not a whole lot. Maybe 1 or 2 kegs in Chester, but not too much. But you live in Philly, right?
Do, yeah.
Okay, so there's something you can find on tap in Philly in the next couple weeks. Actually, we just did a collaboration with Square One Coffee out of Lancaster.
Interesting.
We did a coffee IPA.
Oh.
Yes, and so there's a couple bars in Philly. I think it's called Plenty Cafe.
I don't think I know that
Check
one.
it out. They just opened a new location, and they have like 2 others or something like that.
All right.
So the beer came out fantastically using Ethiopian coffee. Square One had approached us a couple months ago, and we're like, yeah, let's give it a try. And I think John knocked it out of the park, and we're really excited about it.
That's awesome.
So,
That sounds amazing.
I can't wait to try
Exciting.
that.
Yes.
So what did you bring with today?
So today we have our offering number 28, our wheat IPA, and our Winfred English Session Ale, which is a dark mild, which we really think is an underappreciated style, and we're trying to push that Winfred as much as we can because we want people to understand you don't need a whole lot of alcohol to have a flavorful beer.
Now, secretly, you just didn't want to see Dan get drunk tonight. So you're like, what's low in alcohol that we can bring tonight?
Yeah, that's okay.
You don't
It
want to be
happens.
blamed.
It happens.
I wasn't going to bring it up.
You already did.
No, well,
sort of.
Kind of under the radar,
Sort
he
of.
brought it up.
So starting with the Offering 28, the wheat IPA, very good. I like that it has a great hoppy IPA character, but it has like that body and refreshing character of a wheat beer. It's really nice.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's definitely a hop person's wheat beer.
Yeah,
it's,
exactly. Yeah.
It's more hoppy than wheat. We're really happy with that beer, but I think it scares some people away, people who don't like wheat beers. So we try to stress with it's a little bit of both, but it's definitely hoppy.
Yeah.
It can satisfy those hop lovers.
Well, as long as you call it a wheat IPA, I think,
Right,
people
exactly.
are going to go, oh, it's an IPA, whatever kind of IPA it is.
See, is that what
That's
Jen?
pretty awesome.
Our accountant just dropped off an iPad holder for Dan.
That's pretty awesome.
I will need to post that.
That makes life so much easier.
That's pretty cool.
Thank you, Jen.
That is pretty awesome.
That is awesome.
I totally forgot she told me she got this. That's awesome.
Will that be on your next accountant bill?
Probably.
Yeah,
It's going to
Just
be like
wondered.
$300 for this thing.
Yeah, probably.
I could have bought another iPad for the price of the stand. I really do like that beer. I was too busy setting this up while you guys were talking about it. It's really, really, really good.
It's really nice. It's very crisp. Yeah.
And I feel like if you're trying to cater to the people who don't necessarily like wheats, but they do like IPAs, this would be a good gateway to kind of get their feet wet for it, get their tongue wet.
But the hop choices that John made in that still respect what a wheat beer is. I mean, especially in American wheat, it's a lot of those citrusy flavors anyway, so it's almost just accentuating that with a little hop in it. Well, a little more than a little, but
Yeah.
A healthy
It
dose.
works.
Like a little bit. Well, a little bit
A little
more.
more than a little
That's
bit. A
okay.
healthy dose of hops. I will say, I agree that moving on to the next beer, the English styles are a little underappreciated.
oh my gosh, it's
So
my
we-
jam right now.
We
though,
just
I'm telling
tried,
you.
we just tried the Winfred. I could pound that beer all night. That is
Yes.
so good,
Yes.
so easy drinking.
Yes.
It's tough right now going into our tap room and picking what beer I want to drink, and that's a really good problem to have because
Definitely.
this beer on cask especially is
Oh, yeah.
I can imagine.
unbelievable, and I wish we had a hand pump in our tap room that we could put it on. Maybe down the road, but
I mean, you
I
got
would-
brick oven now. So,
Yeah, that's
I
true.
mean,
Anything's
anything's
We'll
possible.
run out of space behind that bar.
Well, I suppose you could get rid of the popcorn machine if it meant you could have a hand pump. That's a fair trade.
I don't know that I agree with that.
Oh, okay, all
That's
right.
a fair trade.
You heard it here, folks.
Yeah, right. I'm sorry, I had to finish that beer, guys.
That's
I'm
fine.
sorry.
Oh, damn it!
You could just
I'll send Rich for more.
you could just throw
I know
that
where you
back
can get
all
some
night
more.
long. Yeah, it's
I
so
know.
You need to
good.
put that in cans.
Did you say what the ABV was on it?
in
Did I miss
40s.
it?
It could be in 40s. It's only 3.2%.
Is that really what it is?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
Well, I'm going to be drinking that the rest of the night. You know, if I remember right, since Steph has already mentioned the night that I got obliterated, that everyone fucking knows about at this
See,
point.
he just wants to talk about it.
No, because I said it once before that I think it was one of the English style beers that you guys had that really put me over the top. Because I kept going to it before I knew it, I was done. And Wayne laughed at me at one point when I said it was one of the English beers. It was like a mild of some sort that you guys had.
It was
it was this one?
It could have been.
It was the 3.2%.
because that's actually kind of a take on a recipe that we brew for the Bull's Head in Lidditz called Bull's Head Mild. But we like the beer so much that we wanted to brand it and sell it ourselves.
Yeah.
And so it could have very well been been that beer.
I
But
approve.
you must have had like 3 gallons of it.
that would take a lot.
Somebody had a pitcher, and whenever my glass was empty, it was.
I do
I don't know who
remember a
that
lot of
was.
pictures.
I'm not sure who
I
that
think
was.
actually, I think it was the Paideia was pretty free flowing. And
That was
the,
I'm sure we had hegemony.
It was that. Well, no, and the 2 pound, the double IPA. Is it called 2 pound?
libation.
Libation. That's the one. Yes, that's one. I'm thinking
That
of.
one will
We
sneak
were
up on you too.
drinking a lot of-
Yeah, you got to be
I remember those 2 beers were flowing pretty freely, and those are a little easier to.
I have a little more self control and restraint this time.
Restraint.
I can't.
Restraint.
It sounds like I'm drunk, but I'm not.
yet.
Yes, exactly. Is there? So you guys, I forgot what the offering thing. So it's just like scratch. Like I don't say scratch, but like one-off series,
Yeah.
more or less. Okay.
Yeah, so some of them return. We had brewed our molasses porter a couple seasons in a row. We'd actually done the wheat IPA, but we kind of changed the recipe a little bit, different hops here and there, dropped the malt out, added a malt. John likes to play around and kind of fine-tune some things. But once they enter our like real lineup, we would give them a name, something like that. So we'll see. I think the response to the Galaxy and Mosaic, as long as we can get those hops, we might try to brew them a couple times a year. Not make them regular, but it's kind of, we've always kind of taken things as they come, see what's working, and I think John keeps on doing a great job, and we hired an assistant brewer, Jeff Campbell, who's been a great asset for us. Formerly worked at Trogs and had left there, but was still looking to be in the brewing industry, and hired him on, and he's been nothing but an asset to our company.
Awesome.
So
Good.
it's been a crazy couple of years, and I keep on saying that every time I'm on here, but it's a wild ride, and I'm enjoying it.
There's always something new. There's always. I mean, you install a whole new brewery at one point, and now you've got the brick oven.
Yep.
I'm still obsessed with this brick oven.
Yeah,
Well, you guys got to come out.
Definitely.
Yeah, we
I will
definitely
be there.
need
We'd love to
back
get
there.
you on the schedule again to come out and to record when you guys have a free moment. I know you're probably booked till like next December.
Not quite.
That's out.
When?
Yeah.
What time of year was it when we were there before?
It was
cold.
It was
Was it-
January.
I was going to say, okay.
It was
All
cold.
right.
I think it was our first recording of 2015.
Yeah, okay, that sounds about right.
Wow, it's been that long.
Shortly after we started canning, because I think we did the side-by-sides with
Yes.
the cans
Yeah.
and the draft.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was like literally probably a couple weeks after we rolled out cans. So it's crazy.
Oh yeah,
How
I remember
far
all the
we've come.
cans you had around laying.
Yeah.
That was a sight to see.
Yeah.
Is it still stacked up like that?
No, we've cleared some space out, and there's a lot more room, because in that room where all the cans were, we kind of permanently set up our canning line, because we're canning pretty much once a week.
Good.
Now, depending on the different brands, so it's cleared out, but we're still packed in there with all our. Since you guys recorded, we put another line of fermenters in. That canning line's there, and obviously we've renovated the tap room big time in early parts of this year. So it's been crazy.
Good. Sounds like good
Crazy in a
crazy.
good way.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
So-
Well, I'm very glad to hear that, and of course, we can't, like Steph said, we can't be at Canal Street and not have you on the show.
Well, thank you so much for having us on, and
Thanks for coming back up here and
cheers
delivering
to you
these beers.
guys.
Cheers
We
to you.
appreciate it.
So I think we mentioned earlier that we were going to have some people on the show that we hadn't met before, and at least for this, it's sort of a half truth. Because at the Red and Craft Beer Fest, where I had to buy my own ticket to get in last time, I was walking around, and one of the people I had met was Katie from Jack's Abbey, who is now sitting at the table with us. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Great. Thank you for coming up to the table.
Yeah,
with
of
us.
course.
Yeah. Now you so you're like the regional rep for Jack's Abbey, I would assume, right?
Yep, I'm the Eastern Pennsylvania sales rep.
Okay, very cool. And how wide does that reach in Eastern PA? Is it just like southeast or like up all the way through close to New York?
So my territory goes up to Scranton, out to Lancaster, and then down in Philly and Delco.
Okay, cool.
Yep, and that's the furthest south that Jack's Abbey distributes right now.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I did not know. Where is Jack's Abbey located? I can't.
Boston, Framingham, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
You should know this.
Jeez, come on, man.
Yeah, we're about a half an hour west of Boston and Framingham.
Okay. I probably should have known that. I apologize.
All good. All good.
Were you at the recent Reading Craft Beer Fest as well?
Yes.
For Jack's Abbey?
Last
Jack's Abbey was
weekend.
there. Did you come here afterwards?
Yes, I did.
I think I remember seeing you
Yes,
here.
I
You
was
were out
here.
there eating.
Wow.
Okay.
Yep.
Because I
was
saw you walking
housing
through. I was
some
like,
wings.
I think I just saw her here the other week. And then you came to the table. I'm like, oh, you're coming here. Okay.
Yep.
That's cool.
Borderline creepy, Wayne, but that's all right.
Yep. I've been in Reading the last 3 weekends, actually.
Oh, really?
I'm so sorry to hear that. What was the weekend before?
I did the Fall Classic with Canal Street, so the golf tournament that they sponsor.
Oh, all right.
Yep. Cool. Yeah, the brewery got to sponsor it this year.
That's really cool. That's really
Yeah.
cool. And you know what? I did have one of the beers last week at the Reading Fest. I had the House Lager.
Yep.
Which
Nice.
I think you have with you at the table now,
do,
right?
I
Okay.
do.
Did I let you try that, Wayne, or did
yeah,
I?
we did.
Okay.
Yeah, we split that one.
Okay.
I remember having that one.
I was
yeah.
trying to remember if I hogged the whole thing or not.
Nope, not that one.
All right. Just some of the other ones.
House Lager is actually now the House Lager here at Canal Street.
Oh, cool.
It is. We have very close family ties with Canal. The owners of the brewery, I think it was one of their cousins used to be head chef here, and their aunt actually made all the quilts that hang in this room.
Ah, so now we know where the quilts came from.
Yeah,
All
they
right.
came from Jack's Abbey. Yep.
So how long have you been with Jack's Abbey?
I've been with the brewery about 2 years, going on 2.5. I'm actually from Massachusetts, went to school in Philly, was moving home for a little while, and I grew up probably 17 minutes away from the brewery. So
Oh, wow.
I started working there as a brand ambassador, doing festivals and samplings and tastings. And then I started full-time in the tap room, and we opened up an awesome, huge beer hall where I worked full-time as well. And then it just so happened that they needed a sales rep down here, and I wanted to move back to Philly, so it was kind of perfect timing. Worked out great.
You probably didn't even have to interview.
No.
They're like, you're willing to
Just go back. Yeah, go back.
do it.
You got
it was great.
Were you a fan of the brewery before you worked there?
I had only had them a couple of times. We're only 5 years old, so they only really started when I had left to go to college. And you know, a couple times when I would come home from holidays, my dad would have cases of the beer in the fridge. He'd be like, "Katie, you got to try this new local awesome lager-only brewery." I was like, "Dad, I hate lagers. Don't give me that." And now I love them and work there.
Of course.
Well, Jack's Abbey gives a whole new meaning to the word lager. It's not what most, especially people from Eastern Pennsylvania, not what we think of as lager.
Yep, for sure.
First time I had a traditional lager, I almost spit it back out because I was used to Yingling. That was a lager to me, which I mean, it's great for them that they became like the Kleenex of beer. You just say the name, and everybody knows what you need.
Yep.
But I didn't know how to appreciate that until I think we started the show. And now I'm glad. Now I know better.
Well, speaking of, like, Jack's Abbey is the brewery that, you know, was one of the first breweries I was aware of that was making exclusively craft lagers. And I think within the past 5 years, the craft beer community has opened up more to the lager style, I think, especially in this area with the German heritage and all of that. But do you, with your experience there, did you find that people were resistant, as you were when you said, "I hate lagers"? Like, did you have to kind of sell it to people in the beginning and be like, "No, these are like well-crafted beers, but they're lagers, not ales"? You know?
Yeah, I mean, so we launched back in PA and in March, so we're still fairly new. We're within year one being in Pennsylvania, and that's definitely a struggle that I've encountered, you know, especially with Yingling being the lager down here. I have gotten some pushback of people like, "Well, I already have a lager line, I don't need a craft lager." And you know, the way I kind of explain our process and our beers to people, especially with the house lager, we brew all of our traditional German beers according to German standard and tradition. We brew according to German purity law. So really, our lagers are going to be the most authentic, the most traditional beer you're going to get that's domestically made. We take a lot of time and care, and we're doing a lot of brewing techniques that nobody in the U.S., to my knowledge, is doing still because they take a lot of time and care. with the house, we leave that beer in the tanks for 5 weeks, which to make an ale usually is 2 to 3 weeks. So we're over a month on this beer, and we do something called a double decoction mash on it, as well as natural spunding on all of our beers. So we're really taking a lot of money, time, care, effort in brewing them all.
Yeah, it's something you don't want to half-ass. If you're going to do it and you're going to
exactly.
focus specifically on it, you got to do it right.
Exactly.
Have you done any brewing? I mean, I know even outside of here, were you a home brewer at all at any point?
Nope.
Just kind of picked it up along the way?
Yeah, just picked it up.
That's
Working at the brewery itself in the tap room really was a huge learning process for me, especially with a startup small brewery. You know, there was only 2 of us working the original tap room, so our start of our day was in the back of house, scrubbing growlers, stocking up the cooler. So I was constantly surrounded by the brewers and everybody in the back of house. And you learn really quickly just because, you know, you hear everybody talking and having conversations, and you become best friends with all the brewers and everybody. So you just kind of pick everything up.
Yeah. That's really cool.
Yeah.
It sounds like a good journey. And
is.
I feel like we should segue into that beer, mostly because my mouth is watering, and I remember it very, very well.
Yeah, sure.
It's so delicious.
Dan, we'll let you start with this one, because we
thank
started
you.
every other beer this
I love
way.
this beer. I forgot how good it was when I had it last
Great.
week.
It's just super crisp, clean, easy to drink.
There's no other words really to describe it.
Mm-hmm.
It's exactly what you'd want.
It's the fridge beer that everybody should have, really.
Now, the house lager is probably the beer we see most often when we see a Jack's Abbey beer on tap in Pennsylvania. Are you going to try to increase the varieties that are offered down here? Like, I know there's a lot of sour beers that are starting to happen at Jack's Abbey, and the Framing Hammer line is very popular. Is there a look to diversify, or are the house lager and the Smoke and Dagger the 2 products that you're really focusing on for this area?
We actually, currently in market, we have 6 different beers. So we have 5 cores and then our seasonal. Our biggest focus in Pennsylvania is really house lager and our seasonals, which all of our seasonals are, again, traditional, authentic German beers. So right now we just released our Dunkel, called Red Tape. And before that was the Oktoberfest, which did very, very well for us. I'm really finding the things that are doing the best for us in PA are the traditional beers. Like you said, we do a lot of hoppy beers. I like to say we were the first ones to do an IPL because it was one of the very first beers we brewed 5 years ago.
And now Yuengling makes one too.
Yeah. Ours is definitely much different than the other ones on the market. It's super hoppy and awesome. For our sours, we actually are opening up a brand new spin-off brewery right next to Jack's Abbey. We just bought out the rest of our building. We added an additional 30,000 square feet to the building. That's going to be exclusively ales, sours, barrel program. So all of the sours that Jack's Abbey had been releasing are all going to shift into that new brand called Springdale. So we really won't see any sours down here except for super crazy specialty events. For the Framing Hammers, we'll get some of those down here. I have no idea what's going to come into market at this point, but we will get a little bit of them. When you're launching a brand, you want to keep everybody excited and keep everybody looking forward to the next release. So that's our plan.
Now, Smoke and Dagger was my original favorite Jack's Abbey beer. I remember having it the very first time I ever visited the original Jack's Abbey location in Framingham. I don't think that I've had it on Nitro yet, though. Where was the inspiration for putting this on Nitro?
Most beers on Nitro are stouts and porters, and this being a black lager, we thought, hey, might as well give it a shot. It's a beer that sounds like it would taste good on Nitro, and it added that little creaminess to it. Jack just kind of likes to experiment, so we did, and I think it's awesome on Nitro. It's one of my favorite beers that we do. I've
had this before, and it looks different just from getting the glass passed around.
I like that the smokiness, the smoke character is subtle. It's not.
It's not overwhelming.
I think it's more subtle on Nitro than.
Yeah, I think the Nitro. Cuts
I agree. I think
kind of
the creaminess cuts down the smoke a little bit.
It adds a really nice character to it. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, this is good.
It kind of actually pairs the way, like if you would have like meat and cheese, like cured meat and cheese, like the Nitro kind of gives it that.
Oh yeah, the creaminess
creamy
of the
sort of cut. Yeah,
a charcuterie board in glass.
You know what I also like about it is that it doesn't. The smokiness doesn't stick around afterwards. It finishes very clean.
It's no Schlenkerla.
No, oh God.
I wonder what that would be like on Nitro.
That would not be allowed. Can you?
Yeah, that really wouldn't be.
I can't imagine.
That's probably
There would be rioting
treason.
in Bamberg,
Yeah,
I think.
that's probably treason.
Nitro is definitely not Reinheitsgebot.
Yeah.
Well, it's not an. Well, I guess it is kind of an ingredient, but it's not hops, barley,
Kind
malt, or
of.
water. I mean,
Yeah.
it's,
Well,
Sorry.
you know what I want to ask too. Having spent time in Philly, which is pretty. I don't want to sound full of myself because I live there, but Philly is known for its craft beer and the culture around it. What's it like in Boston or Framingham or up north? What's it like up there? How does it vary? How does it compare?
Boston,
yeah, out there in the middle of nowhere.
it's definitely it's its own market. It's very IPA heavy, you know, the whole New England IPA, the haziness, all that stuff. That's much more prevalent in Boston and Massachusetts. Hoponius up there, Hoponius Union has been our number one, hands down, the entire time. House Lager is starting to catch up to it a little bit, but up there, everyone just really loves their IPAs. I think in Philly, it's almost a little bit more of an educated market. People are more into the sours and more into adventurous.
They're also a little more hipster.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes, a lot more hipster. I would say the craft beer scene in Philly is more widespread than in Boston.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's actually kind of what I figured you'd say, because and this is going to sound like the worst thing to base it off of, but two things I can base it off of are Cheers and Family Guy. And they're both people on both the shows are very dead set in what they will drink.
Yep.
And that's the vibe that I get about Boston overall.
Yeah, people drive from here to go up to Trillium and Night Shift all the time to get beer.
Yeah. It's because they're
I
hipsters.
didn't say it was a good base.
Well, I imagine, though, much like you have the lager competition from Yuengling in Pennsylvania, obviously Sam Adams is going to be your competition in your home
didn't
turf.
Yuengling get, I don't want to say rejected, but
They tried to get in there.
It was up
and
there, and then
they were kind of roundly
They
like
tried to launch
GTFO.
and it
Yeah.
didn't work
That's rough. That's rough.
Well, that's they're facing
It's
off.
Sam Adams.
Yeah.
You don't.
I know, you can't go
They're
up
quite
against
a
them.
beast.
Yeah. Well, even Sam Adams is down this year.
Yeah.
All those big boys are not doing so hot.
Yeah, I think they've spread themselves a little thin. Yeah.
It's definitely going to be interesting to see what the future has
For the next
craft
few
beer.
years, yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking that everyone's been talking about the craft beer bubble that's going to happen. I think that at this point we've entered the bubble, and I think in the next year, 2 year, 3 years, we're going to see a lot of small guys go out of business. Some big guys. I think there's going to be a lot of big changes coming.
But no one who's been on our podcast is going to go out of business.
Oh, of course.
Because they've got the
Nope.
Beer Busters bump.
Well, of course.
That's right.
That's what it all comes down to.
Yes.
Well, Katie, I'm glad that you were able to step up to the table with us
Yeah,
and
of
share
course.
these beers. And it's like I told you when I met you the first time around, told you we'd get you on the show. Cool.
And
Well,
if Dan
thank you.
says
I
that, he
appreciate
means
it.
it.
yeah, exactly. But the beers are fantastic, and I'm glad to see it's going so well for you guys. I'm glad you got to come back down to the Philly area and spread the love that is Jack's Abbey there.
The lager love.
Of course, the lager love. There we are. Well, thank you so much, Katie, for coming up
Yeah,
here.
thanks for having me.
Yeah, no
Thank you.
Thanks,
Cheers.
guys.
So we've got joining us at the table now old friends of the podcast. Well, an old friend who has brought a new friend of ours with. And I have to say, I don't know if I had told you this, if I may have seen you in passing once or twice since last time you've been on the show. This year I spent my birthday at the new brewery and restaurant, now that's actually done up and open to the public. We have with us Tim and Kristen from St. Benjamin down in Philly. How you guys doing?
That was a long intro.
It was.
Doing great. Super excited to be here.
Cool. But I also wanted to put that in there, too. It was I couldn't think of a better place to spend my birthday, and the food was great, and
Yes.
always some great beers. I forget exactly what I had there that night, but, I mean, it's everything you have is solid.
Did you have the corn on the cob?
Not the corn on the cob, no. I thought you were
Did
gonna
you
say-
have the shrimp and grits?
No. I'm not a huge shrimp fan. But I know, I'm weird with that. But I know one of the beers I had was definitely the coffee kolsch that we
Nice.
never stop talking about.
Yeah.
Because
The
it's
coffee
so
kolsch
amazing.
is coming out in cans.
Actually, it's out in cans, but it's almost all sold out.
Oh, man.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
We will be doing a large canning. We tested out a very small canning run, and we only sold it around Philly. We're going to be doing a larger canning run, and it will definitely make its way out here.
Awesome.
That's
Awesome.
wonderful.
That is so
So you
good.
guys will get it before me.
It'll be like March.
But
I
yeah,
actually have not been to the brewery
To the-
since
the
we
brew
were
pub?
there. The brew pub's been open. Well, I was only
it's awesome.
Well, we recorded
It's
there.
a really
It is.
nice setup.
It's beautiful. It is so well done. The food, I mean, the beer, we already know the beer is
Right.
great. You guys make amazing beer. But the food blew me away. Like, I don't know if I wasn't expecting it, but, well, of course, all the pictures that whoever does your Instagram Like before the leading to the opening of all the food, I was like, I need to get there. But the food was just wow.
We
Perfect
hang out there and
compliment.
eat even when we don't have to.
It's a good sign.
I don't blame you.
I might have had the corn on the cob.
If you didn't, you should
It was
have.
very memorable.
Yeah,
Well, you just had
apparently.
such an awesome birthday that you.
Well,
that's,
I did, but I mean, I also got drunk off the beers that were there.
that's what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
That's why you don't remember what you had.
course.
The best birthday should be a little fuzzy at the
Of
end.
course,
a little
of
bit,
course. Yeah, but
You did if you remember the corn on the cob, it wasn't a good birthday. That's a rule of thumb.
rule of thumb. All right.
What was better, the birthday or the corn?
A little bit of both.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the brew pub, how has the reception been? Have you guys been doing really well there since you opened up?
Yeah. The brew pub's been going over really well. We've been getting amazing write-ups. We also, just like Craig Laban wrote about our shrimp and grits and some other stuff at the restaurant. I think the fowl with a jack. We've been getting a really good crowd in. The neighbors like us, so we're, I think it's an exciting time to be in that neighborhood too.
That's
yeah,
true.
there's
that's true,
so
yeah.
much blowing up, all these new condos and loft buildings and new businesses. So
It's a rebirth of that area, and it's so
Yeah,
nice.
it's
And-
kind of like the next Fishtown. Like Fishtown kind of started that a few
absolutely.
years ago, and now
And that was one of your main purposes for choosing that spot, is
right.
you wanted to choose and help to regrow that area. If I remember our original conversation with
Yeah.
microphones in front of us.
Yeah, we wanted to hopefully be that sort of anchor business that other businesses sprout up around, and really kind of showcase that the neighborhood's not what people think it's been for the past 20 years, or to also show that there's a lot of great stuff there even right now. Like, not that we're not even the first, but it's like a nice gateway to get people in there.
Yeah, for sure. Now, everything right now is still on the first floor. The dining area, the brewery is still downstairs, but as we were lucky enough to tour, you still have that beautiful space upstairs.
We do, and I think probably sometime in the next year we're going to have to rearrange all our tanks and whatnot, because we're going to need to buy our own canning line. I'm already looking at our schedule and how much we need to start canning, as we're now distributing from Berks and Lancaster County all the way to Atlantic County and Cape May County. And as we expand, it's like getting in the mobile canner in every month is going to be a real hassle.
So moving upstairs is sooner than later?
I'd say probably we're going to start clearing it out this winter, and probably by next summer we'll have some equipment up there.
Oh, cool.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
I still
exciting,
think you should do something with that, where you can walk off on the roof. You could do some neat private events up there in that top level.
Yeah,
That'd
we
be
definitely
epic.
would love to have some space up there, and to have people in for we have people all the time that want to do dinners, wedding receptions, and rent out space for corporate events, and we're like, we can't shut down our pub on a Saturday night. We need to serve our customers.
Future.
but
Wait
you
for
got
it.
the
It's coming.
second and third floor to work with.
Eventually, someday.
But at least you've got the space there. The
Yeah.
option's always there. That's cool. Do you guys do any kind of events at the pubs? Do you do beer dinners, any music, anything like that?
So we're not doing any music yet. We are doing just some fun little events like bingo night, movie night, vinyl night. And we've done some special happy hours for nonprofits in the area, like the Kensington Community Food Co-op, a couple other small nonprofits, but it's not an exclusive thing. So we are
Tuesday night vinyl's fun.
It sounds like fun. Yes.
Bring your own.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
I'll bring my Radiohead vinyl, Dan. We
Nope.
can meet up there.
Yeah, Dan will bring Muse.
I'll be there. I'll be there.
Yeah.
I'll bring Weezer.
No, you bring Weezer. That's
That's
cool.
fine.
Dan's got some good Weezer vinyl.
We've definitely had everything. I bring my Ventures records sometimes, and people are bringing in 70s disco stuff. It's just we'll play with it. We will play pretty much whatever.
Right.
And you get
That's
a
cool.
discount on your bill, but only if your music doesn't suck.
Who determines that?
I
think
it's
Kristen
bartender's
does.
The
choice.
bartender.
Oh, okay.
Know
As
your
it should be.
bartender.
No, your bartender.
Tip them
That's
well.
right.
Tip them well.
Then your music becomes amazing.
Yeah, that's right.
No matter what it is.
Even if it does really suck.
Right.
That's
There you
funny.
go. You suck up to your bartender, you could play Taylor Swift.
I could. Yes.
Please bring in some tea.
I guarantee you.
Yep.
I guarantee you, there are probably at least two bartenders that would be really into Taylor Swift.
See?
The problem is it's almost how do you even lose that one? Because if it's so awful, then it's ironically bad. If you bring in the Fat Boys, someone's just going to think that's hilarious and just still get a discount.
That's true. Yeah,
That's a
that's
great
true.
point.
Especially if it's on vinyl, because if it's on vinyl and awful, it's
Then you-
automatically ironic.
Yeah, then you have cred for
Automatically
having
cool.
terrible music
Yeah,
on
do
vinyl.
you legit have Taylor Swift on vinyl?
I do not, but I would buy it.
He would.
I almost did.
Should I
recently,
buy it for you
actually.
for Christmas?
That wouldn't be a bad idea.
Well, then you need a record player.
Yeah, well, there might
guys
be one.
don't have a record player?
There might be one in the house soon.
There's probably one in the near future.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know it's not like there aren't any record stores in South Philly or anything.
Yeah.
No, not at all. Yeah.
Or the internet.
Or the internet.
Not
the
to brag,
internet.
but we have 2 record players in our house.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Oh, we have 2 also, actually. Record player. Anyway,
We've got
beer?
0. Yes.
Beer?
We should probably.
We should beer.
beer. That's where it all started.
beer, that's
we
true,
should
yes.
beer. So you said you've got with you, I know Inca you said was the other one. Was the other the Wit or
Without.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which I remember being 2 of the standouts from when we were there before.
Yeah, well, we're like I said, we kind of decided to launch with 2 of our core brands in this area, but I actually think a lot of our lagers are probably going to make their way out here. Given the history of this area, like I was pretty floored that we've been to 3 bars that had Roush beer on, and we're like, well, we're kegging our Roush beer next month, and it's going to sell slow in Philly, but bet we can send a lot of it out here.
Yeah, we're spending the weekend in Lancaster, and we've had some amazing beers, and just have been blown away by how cool the city is.
Yeah, Lancaster's great. There's some neat beer bars in Lancaster. The Fridge, Hunger and Thirst, and what's the new one that just opened in Leola? Funks.
We have not been to any of those yet, and we were at like 5 places last night.
That beer is so good. I think when we recorded, I took a growler home of Wit or Without.
That is entirely possible.
That would have been a wise decision. So.
Yeah, it would have been. Yeah.
And now you can get it in 6-packs.
And now I could get it in 6-packs.
And the Inca. The Inca, actually, the past couple beer fests we've been to, you guys have had somebody pouring for St. Benjamin there, and you've usually had the Inca. And even though I've had it a million times, I always, when I see it, I grab it.
Thank you.
It's one of my favorites. Just stand by, like, oh, I know that's a good beer. I'm going to get one. Yeah.
It's a really great beer fest beer because, people come over and they're like, what's your hoppiest beer? And we can give them the Inca. And other people come over and they're like, I hate IPAs. And we're like, well, try this one and you might actually like it. So it helps us.
Pleases multiple palates.
Yes.
And it's not going to send anyone home horizontally or...
Well, depending on how many pictures of it they have, right?
Sure. And the Inca, actually, I remember when we were at St. Benjamin recording, it's called Inca because it's an India cream ale.
Yeah.
And I did not get that. It was one of those,
I actually had someone ask me for an INSA earlier, and I was like, what's that?
INSA. Nice.
Soft C.
So what's in the plans for the future for St. Benjamin? I know you talked about going
besides
upstairs.
the second story.
Yeah. But any other cool things coming down the road?
We're definitely working on sort of expanding our beer portfolio, but not like as much throwing a dart against the wall, but like actually planning stuff out a few months ahead of time, being organized. We're working on this year-round lager program. So before, when you guys were there, we had our 3-barrel nano brew system, and we upgraded to a 10 hectoliter German-made brewing system that's like engineered and built to do its job, and not like crap that I cobbled together from China. So one thing it does amazingly well is lagers. So we were like, well, we got an extra tank in. We have these horizontal aging tanks. So we're just going to do lagers all year round. We did we go like a mock to a Bock to a Maibach to a Pilsner.
You did an Oktoberfest.
We did Oktoberfest, and now we're doing a Roush beer. And at some point I want to slip a Baltic Porter in there. But we're probably going to start canning the lagers. We're going to can more beer. For anyone, I know you guys were at you were at the brew pub. Did you get our citywide special?
I didn't.
So besides the Inca, we actually make my original cream ale recipe, which is like 4.2%. So it's like a point and a half lower than the Inca. It's like a really traditional American cream ale, and we serve it with a shot of Kinsey 7-year whiskey, and that's our citywide special at the tap room.
Oh my God!
That sounds pretty
the
cool.
tap room also features Pennsylvania wines, meads, and spirits.
Oh, that's cool.
So we have
a full bar now.
We have a whiskey that's it's finished off at a distillery a few blocks from the brewery, plus our cream ale. So we're gonna actually start canning that cream ale and send it out. We're still kicking around what we're gonna call it, but we're basically just gonna be selling like an old man style cream ale.
Nice.
Oh, that's cool. Nice.
Other than that, just like going to keep making really good beer. One thing I'd really love to see next year is for us to sell a lot more Firkins. We love Firkin beer, but they're slow movers. It's kind of like our English mild. We love our English mild. We have a can design ready to roll. We just need to get the sales up to the point where
people
it makes
just
sense.
need to buy it.
I'm okay with just continuing to have it on the kegerator at home.
Well,
That's cool.
What are some Firkins that you've done?
So our English mild and our California style steam beer are, I'd say, our 2 best Firkins. But we tend not to do that whole like let's do something crazy in the firkin thing because it gets a little old. But we have done some experiments with. We did a Belgian blonde, and the firkins. Our brewer actually just went up the street to a grocery store, bought a bunch of raspberries, and pureed them and put them in. And that actually was a really nice flavor.
Wow.
And it was subtle.
Yeah, it was a subtle thing. And, we'll put IPAs in firkins because people order a lot of it, but we try to tell people IPA isn't the best thing for firkin.
Right.
The maltier is better. I'd say like we don't go really too overboard with the firkins, but we'll make a few here or there, and sometimes we'll put an ingredient in, but it's usually something traditional, not like, hey, let's go grab some jalapenos from the kitchen and throw them in our firkin.
Although I would support that.
That's all about that.
You know what? There's already too much of that going on. I think there are plenty of people, if they want to have a firkin beer, want it to be like more of an English experience.
For sure.
We were in San Francisco this summer doing some beer drinking, and we're very inspired by the very traditional beers there. It was a lot more like...
Did you go to Magnolia?
We went there, and they had like 2 different English milds on tap. They had 4 hand pumps, and like all the beer, it was all traditional English, German. Heaven. But in general, there wasn't any weird fruit beer combinations. There was, thank God, no disgustingly cloudy IPAs. It was all just good, solid beer, and I'm like, I hope the Philly market gets back to doing this in a couple of years, because...
I think it's happening. I really do. I think it's coming. Like St. Boniface, they have an amazing English mild.
We just had some.
That was really nice.
I love that beer. But I think the West Coast is embracing it a lot more. Like Magnolia in San Francisco, but we were also up in the Pacific Northwest, and there was a Machine Head right outside of Seattle, right by the Boeing airfield, and it's just all hand pump English ales, and that's it. I could have sat there all day and kept drinking. They had a soccer game on. Rich was outside watching the airplanes fly around. It was absolutely perfect. So hopefully we took the cloudy IPAs from them. Hopefully now we'll keep embracing the English ales.
I hope we can send the cloudy IPAs. I hope if they go from the West Coast and then they stay on the East Coast, then I hope they just fall into the Atlantic and go away forever.
Tell us how you really feel.
And take some of those weird fruit extract beers that aren't even made with real ingredients with them.
Yeah. Well, guys, thank you for coming up to the table. I'm really glad to hear that everything seems like it's going very well for you guys. I mean, you're doing a great thing, helping to revitalize that area, putting out these fantastic beers, good food, and I got to get back up and try this citywide.
Please, yeah.
I'm very intrigued.
When are we going?
Well, let's go. I'm down, man.
I recommend coming in for brunch. The brunch is outstanding.
There you go. Tomorrow, Sunday brunch.
Yeah, is that like just on Sundays? Is it every
Saturday and Sundays? And Sundays, it's all day.
Brunch all day.
All day.
That's cool. All right.
And Sunday's a little less crowded than Saturday. Saturday, it's like you're overlapping with our tours as well. We have tours Saturday every weekend from 12 to 4. But that means if you're going for brunch, you might also have like a 20-person tour rolling behind you.
But Sunday you can get brunch until 1 a.m.
Wow.
Nice.
That's awesome.
That's really cool.
Nice.
Okay. Well, we will be there shortly.
Yes.
Sweet. But guys, thank you for coming up to the table. Thank you for sharing the beers. And I hope continued success to you guys. This is all great.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. It was awesome to talk to you guys.
Cheers. It's someone's triumphant return to the table with us. And you can already hear the giggling. That can only mean that it's nobody other than Brandolyn herself from Zero Day. How are you, Brandolyn?
I am very well. How are you guys today?
We're fabulous.
Fantastic.
Excellent. Do you feel pretty today?
We're supposed to go with another F word. We said fabulous and fantastic.
Fierce.
Fucked up.
Oh.
Just totally fucked up.
You seem pretty legit to me. Like, too legit to quit.
God damn it.
Hey,
Cut it out.
Oh, gosh. I saw Dave Coulier one time. He came to York
at an
College.
Arby's?
No. He came to York College, and the funniest part about seeing Dave Coulier of Full House fame
and Alanis Morissette fame.
And Alanis Morissette fame. Although picturing Alanis Morissette scratching her nails down Dave Coulier's back makes me kind of want to vomit.
Yeah.
But anyway, so all of these people know him from Full House, and they brought all their kids. And he was the dirtiest mother
go see Bob Saget
ever. It was so awkward. I'm there in my, I think I was 18, 19 at the time. And I was just like, oh my God, he said the P word.
Well, and now,
before I started using
now
all
a whole
that.
new generation will grow to love him on Fuller House.
I know, but
Is that
no.
still a
I don't
thing?
even know if that's
I don't
still
think
around.
that's still a thing.
Yeah,
I got
it's
to
getting
the
a second
third
season.
Oh, is it really?
episode of that, and I said, I think my brain has deteriorated. So
It was, yeah.
That would imply you have
I watched
one.
like the first 1 or 2 episodes.
as much as
It
I
explains
appreciate
a lot,
it,
though. Our generation.
Yes.
Our generation.
Talking about my
I know you
generation.
don't like to be included in our.
Well, yeah, you guys are
Because
old.
we grew
I'm
up
not
watching.
old. I'm a good vintage. You just haven't attenuated yet.
I haven't attenuated.
You haven't attenuated
Okay. All
yet.
right.
That's pretty funny.
Yes.
I
So
do.
the
Hashtag
burning
chicks that
question
work in
on
breweries.
everyone's mind, Brandolyn, how many record players do you own?
1.
Okay.
That'll make sense when
You
you
know,
go back
God
and
is a
listen to this.
DJ.
God is a DJ.
Wow.
Oh my fucking God!
So Brandolyn's from Zero Day. Did we say that
We
yet?
did. We
Okay.
did.
I'm sure
Zero
everybody
Day,
already
Zero
knows
Day.
that.
Zero Day
Zero
Brewing,
Day.
of course,
In Harrisburg, go there, drink beer.
In Midtown Harrisburg. Is that still considered Midtown where you guys are?
It is considered Midtown.
Okay, right next to the cinema,
Yes.
and right by Market. That's not too far from
Oh,
there.
the Broad Street Market.
Wait a minute, Brandolyn. How is it that Dan, who lives in South Philly, knows so much about the area of Harrisburg where your brewery is located?
Well,
We've
so
only
it's-
recorded there once.
I know.
Because, and I was going to get to this.
Oh, I wanted to tell the story.
Go ahead, tell your story, but just know that I wanted to say it first.
You can
Sure.
say, I'll allow it.
Oh, gee, thanks. I owe Brandolyn.
Wait, that's your line.
Yeah, right. I owe Brandolyn a huge debt of gratitude because she is.
Well,
I recognize something.
I owe Brandolyn a huge debt of gratitude because had it not been for her drunkenly stumbling around our 100th episode,
That's what I do.
that's what she does, she would not have had Zero Day's administrative assistant with, who was her DD that night, who is
Yes.
now my girlfriend.
Yay!
The wonderful, the lovely Jess Moody.
Grumpy cat.
Grumpy cat.
is her last name Moody? I didn't know her
Her
last
last
name.
name is Moody.
That's pretty cool.
It's
Yeah.
so fitting. Do you want to know the story of how Jess got hired?
Please.
Do you know the
she
story?
did. She did tell me the story, but I feel like you're going to tell it better.
Her interview was on the Jonas Blizzard Day.
Oh, wow.
And this girl she lives in the city, but she was walking in the blizzard to get to her interview, and some good Samaritan picked her up and like drove her the rest of the way. She showed up. We are packed. We are one of like few businesses that actually were open during the snow day. Like we slept there to open.
Oh, I remember that.
And we were like, sorry, fire marshal. Like there's everybody here. And she showed up, and I was like, not expecting it. I was like, oh, I guess I now have to do an interview. And then we started talking about midget porn,
Yep.
and then it was all she wrote. And that is how Jess came to the table. Speaking of Jess coming to the table, I will
Speaking of midget porn.
elaborate on how this came to fruition with Dan and Jess. I need to still come up with like a term for you two.
Des.
No.
Jan?
No. No.
But I was sitting here. We were
The
talking
Moody
on
Blues.
Duty. Dan and Moody.
Oh,
Dan
no,
Duty.
not
Duty.
Duty. She'll kill me. I love that girl. She'll kill me.
She
I
is
may
like
or may not
literally
help her.
right around the corner right now as
She
well.
is. She was like, I really want to watch this happen. I'm still trying to convince her to do a podcast because she is so fun. And
But she
I
has
love,
a fear of microphones, apparently.
Not
No,
a fear.
I'm working on
She
it.
does not have any desire to sit behind a microphone.
She kind of does, though. I'm working on it. If anything, coming from being my admin assistant, she is going to have to get comfortable because I'm kind of
All
out there.
the shit you have already put her through.
She loves it.
That's one word you could use.
No.
So this goes is pretty interesting.
Yeah, and I've
Thanks.
had
Is nice.
I had it. Jess brought a crowler down to our house in Philly. You weren't there for me to share it with, so we.
I wasn't
Sorry,
there then.
Wayne.
Oh, sorry.
You might have been there, but we were just going to drink it ourselves. Sorry,
Oh, thanks.
no problem.
That's fine.
I'll make sure to package some beer just for Wayne.
All right.
when
Yeah,
she
you
visits
should.
Next
Yeah,
time.
You know.
because I have nothing to cuddle up to, so I could
You
at
can
least
cuddle
cuddle up to a
crowler.
Yeah,
You can borrow Moo if you want.
Well, yeah,
I
I
feel
do
like that
cuddle
should
up
be
with
an
Moo a lot.
advertising spot. Are you feeling lonely? In despair? Grab this 32-ounce can of comfort. Curl up to a crowler.
Jesus, it writes itself basically.
Wait, she didn't finish her story yet.
Oh, yeah.
Is there-
Coming
there's
to the table. He doesn't want me to finish the
I know.
story. But anyway, in short, I was sitting
In
here.
shorts?
We were doing the 100th. The 100th episode of Beer Busters. I was talking with John Stemler, myself, and Jess, my lovely, lovely, wonderful assistant, brought me a beer. And I looked across the table at Dan, and he lit up like a goddamn firework on the 4th of July. So me, being the persistent,
Baby, you're a
obnoxious...
Then Rich
Yes.
is all into that.
me being obnoxious and persistent and drunk, unfortunately. But I had a DD. Noticed this and knowing Jess's type and kind of thinking like, okay, this is going to work. I made him talk to her. I kept coming up and badgering you, Dan. I'm sorry.
You did. No, I thought you were spewing drunken nonsense and had no idea what you were talking about the whole night. So it almost didn't happen.
I know, you didn't trust me, but I saw it.
Well, that's still probably a good plan. I just want to put it out there. You probably shouldn't trust her.
Oh.
Just as a general rule. Just because it worked that one time.
Look at her trying to figure this out.
I might be full of shenanigans, but I am a good person. People like me.
I am
sometimes.
valuable.
I'm smart. I'm funny, and God damn it, people like me.
So,
I like you guys.
So where did Gail come from?
Gail came from wanting to experiment with something soured because, as you know, like that's a very big trend in beer right now. And most people don't know that, to produce a sour beer, like a true sour beer, you really should have a separate kind of facility so you're not getting all the yeasty, wild beasties and bacteria affecting all of your other beer. So we played around with kettle souring, which obviously we inoculated in the kettle. We let it sit. We let it grow all of the beautiful pellicle porn. And, then we boil it and kill it off before we transfer it into secondary. But we wanted to do a kettle soured beer, and we wanted to do a traditional kettle soured beer so we could test the process. So as we grow as a company, being open almost 2 years, that was what we wanted to do. And when it came to naming, which is one of my favorite parts, I looked at Theo, who's my partner, my business partner, and he just said, "What do you think?" And I said, "Well, why don't we salt the snail?" And I said, "Call it Gale." So if anybody's familiar with Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which I'm a huge fan of, and so is Theo.
And so is Dan.
Poor Gail gets salted because she really is just awful. Now, this beer is not awful. I like it. It's quite enjoyable, but it is salted and it is gaily.
It is very good. And it's also all gone, which is a testament to how good it is.
That's good.
Dan
It's
get
light.
some?
I did. Yeah, I did.
It's a testament to both how good the beer was and how long you two have been talking.
More so her than me.
Sorry, I'm a talker.
No.
We've noticed.
I'll be quiet now.
That's why we invite you on the show.
Yeah, silence doesn't really work when there's a microphone in front of you.
with this silence, not a good idea. Not a good idea.
We'll see how long this lasts.
No,
Not very
that
long.
was quick. That was quick.
It was almost like she was holding her breath, like she was trying
I
to
was
hold
holding
back
my
the
breath.
words.
You know what I wanted to bring up too? One of the times I was there with Jess, I don't remember if Gail specifically was in it, but you guys have like an infusion tank.
Yes.
That you put a different beer on with different infusions in, and I had something with apples. I don't remember what it was. Was it Critical with apples?
It might have been Critical Condition, which is our Imperial Amber, with apples and cinnamon, a little bit like
yes, it was that. Yeah, I had that a couple weeks ago.
We don't do the pumpkin thing.
Yeah.
And if you want to do the pumpkin thing, that's all good, but we just don't go down that route. So we wanted to do something a little bit, fall-ish. And the infusion tower is a really cool gadget. Now, there are a lot of breweries out there that are using like Randall's, and infusing beer is not a new thing. But this particular piece of equipment was new. We saw it when we were at CBC, which is the Craft Beer Conference in Philadelphia. And it is a glycol chilled tower that has a open sight glass canister that comes apart, and you can fill it with different ingredients. You hook a keg up to it. It filters up through the chamber, which is glycol chilled and refrigerated, and it infuses the beer with the ingredients that you put in there. And it's made by Divinity Draft Systems. And we were the first actual brewery to have a production model. There was one other beta model in Asheville, North Carolina. And Theo and I are walking around, and I see this, and I'm like, holy shit, yes. Because we did a lot of Firkins. We do a lot of fundraising. We do collaborations and awareness events. And we were doing these firkins, and sometimes you didn't sell all the firkin. Most of the time we did, but sometimes you were left with wasteful product, and and then it goes flat, and you can't do anything with it. And it's a sad day when you have to get rid of beer. So we picked it up, and it's been awesome. It's a great thing for marketing as well. We did the Gale that you're drinking now, or may have finished. You finished.
Yeah.
We infused that with Sour Patch Kids.
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
I did hear about that.
Yes.
That'd be really cool. Yeah.
Yes.
However, it doesn't always work out. It doesn't work out. We did outdoor films in the parking lot over the summer, and we screened The Goonies, and we wanted to do a deconstructed Baby Ruth. And we actually put our Adam Baltic Porter through it, and we used peanuts, and we used Werther's Original, and we used cocoa nibs. But the oils from the peanuts, I should have known better. But the oils from the peanuts really screwed it up, and that was the one fail. That was the fail whale of them all, because I had to pull it. But it's experimenting with different things. Jess goes to the Asian market and picks up the weirdest shit. There are things that I don't even think are edible.
You should try peanut butter powder.
Yes.
And it doesn't have the oil in it.
It doesn't have... We've done peanut butter powder in firkins. Mm-hmm. But the thing with the infusion tower is you kind of need something of more substance, because that peanut butter powder will get diluted and it will go away. So I'm still trying to figure out how to infuse peanut flavor without using
stuff
peanuts.
it inside of something else.
Yeah, well, there's also isn't it like peanut butter, like alcohol-based peanut butter extract in Purple Monkey dishwasher. I remember, 20 years ago.
But you can't put that in an infuser.
No, but I'm saying maybe if you soak something in it.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Soak something in the
extract, and then put that in the infuser.
Well, you can also rehydrate the powdered peanut butter, so you could rehydrate it and soak something in that with some booze, and then I don't know. We'll come up with an idea for you.
If you do.
Look, she's done. She's like, I'm signing the tablecloth.
I forgot. I don't know where mine is. And
this is a different tablecloth.
Theo has the nice penis on the.
Theo does have a very nice penis.
Yeah.
It is also on our 100th episode
I'm gonna
T-shirt.
Step away from that
I
conversation.
pointed that out to him when I saw him. So we should probably move on to, now that we're talking about penises, we can also talk about getting fingered.
Oh yeah, getting fingered.
Yeah.
Who doesn't like it?
Now, there is a really cool story behind it, and it's one of those names it's like, oh, it makes sense once you know it, and I don't want to let her talk anymore, but you should tell the story behind Double Fingered.
Double Finger is a beer. It's a double IPA. It's 10.6%, hopped with Laurel, which is a brand new hop. They were cultivating that for 14 years, and it just got released.
Holy shit.
Seriously. It's a beautiful, beautiful hop. But anyway, I digress. Double Finger is a beer we did with the Pennsylvania Prostate Cancer Coalition to raise awareness for getting checked for prostate cancer. So starting at 40, they recommend you start getting poked and probed. So Christine Warner...
Although there's nothing stopping you from doing it earlier.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, oops. But anyway, I'm blushing. That doesn't happen often. So... we made this beer, and their slogan is "Don't fear the finger," because a lot of men out there, are apprehensive about getting checked for that.
You're the wind or the sun,
and the fingers. But people are apprehensive of getting checked for that, and so we partnered up, and they're a great organization, and they're fun. So
well, they kind of have to be
We wanted to do a double IPA. We named it Double Finger, and so the official November beer initiative that we are contributing back to their cause, a portion of sales is going back to their cause, is the Double Finger. And now it's Don't Fear the Double Finger, and I always ask for a double finger. So people have to come up to the bar and ask for a double finger. It's just really, it's fun. There's a lot of poking involved.
And prodding.
And it's a good beer.
A little bit of riching.
It is a good beer.
It's a very good beer. It's not overly hoppy as a double. And it finishes pretty easy, and there's a nice earthiness that's back there, too.
So I was hop shopping, which I like to do. I would prefer to shop for hops instead of clothes or anything like that. Shopping. And so we had picked up a couple new hops that we had not used, and Laurel was one of them. It was a little bit interesting to get, but I think that it was executed in this beer exactly the way we wanted. We sat down to do the recipe. We wanted a little bit more of a, not a dark IPA, but a maltier IPA. So it's got nice caramel notes, and the hop characteristics were, dark stone fruit, a little bit peppery, so in my mind, when I think about those flavors, I thought it was going to just really meld well. And luckily, Theo and I have a great working relationship with recipe design, which translates out into we're teaching students now. They're letting me teach people, by the way.
I saw that. That's pretty awesome.
But yeah, so the recipe design, and it was executed impeccably well by Theo, who does all of the, manual labor to produce the beer. And I'm super happy with it.
It's quite good.
It's really
almost
good. Yeah.
It has this really beautiful orangey, reddish, brownish color. It's quite pretty.
It also relaxes the sphincter.
I knew you were going to say it.
Which is a pleasant sensation.
It's a perfect lubrication. That's why we made it. Sphincter is such a weird word.
I think it's fun.
Like how I slid that in there.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, that's a soundbite. I don't know.
That is. You also have
jalapeno.
Yes.
I want to add habanero.
There it is.
For, of course, mango hob.
Yeah, that was really good for us this summer.
It's good beer. It's very good beer. As were the ones that you brought up at the table, Wayne. I'm sorry I didn't share Gale with you before.
It's fine.
I'll get you some.
It's cool.
I'll get you some more Gale.
She
I'll
knows
take
a
care
guy.
of you, Wayne.
Thank you.
She knows the
appreciate
Gale
it.
guy.
There's a soft spot in my heart for you because you have to deal with the both of them.
Actually, they're both
true.
very lovely people
They
that I
are
enjoy
lovely
having
people.
in my life.
What?
Aw.
That
Thank
was
you, Wayne.
so sweet.
Thank
And
you,
he's
Wayne.
looking at me with this endearing sparkle in his eye.
He's
With
like,
the-
I'm the one that's going to be nice.
With a twinkle of what the fuck did you do to me?
Sorry. Don't murder me and throw me in the river.
Not at all.
Which river? Which river? Well, Brandon, thank you for coming up here.
It's
Donating
always
the
a
beers.
pleasure. I would love to have you guys back.
Yeah, we would
I
love
think
to
it would be
come back.
really fun
Yeah.
for you guys to talk to Jess. I'm working on her.
We
Jess
need to
and
get her on the
Bo.
show.
I, think
I know
get some
she's
New
afraid
Zero
of
Day
microphones.
blood on the mic.
That'd be awesome.
I'll do
But that would be
guest
cool.
drops, but
That would be cool.
Oh, my God.
always a pleasure. Thank you for all of the fun times and
Thank you.
everything that you do for beer, because it is really, a lot of people listen to you guys, and you do a great job, and there are a lot of podcasts out there, and you're top notch of quality. So
Aw,
thank you.
Thank you for the kind words.
Yay, thank you.
I hate you slightly less now.
I still hate you a lot.
I know you do. It's all right.
Bye.
Brandon Lynn, thank you.
Cheers.
The excitement and awesomeness that was Brewphoria 14 can't be contained in just one episode. What you heard was just a small sampling of some of the interviews that we were lucky enough to have with some of the amazing people who brought their fantastic beers to Canal Street this year. I'm Dan Baker, not currently joined by my co-host and brewologist Steph Hefner or the demented and fermented Wayne Baker. Still to come, we invent a beer. We get the lowdown on a potential upcoming beer related to a wildly popular graphic novel series. And the man behind everything at Canal Street helps wrap up the night. Stay tuned to BeerBustersPodcast.com for the thrilling conclusion to our time at Canal Street's Brewphoria 14.